This week, Patreon supporter Charlie Hodgman sponsors a look at a pair of high-speed Decepticon hooligans, always out to cause trouble. These are the basics on Runabout and Runamuck, the Battle Chargers. Runabout and Runamuck were Decepticon cars released in the original Transformers toy line in 1986. Runabout transformed into a black Lotus Turbo Esprit, Runamuck into a white Pontiac Firebird. The pair shared the same basic design, built around a simple spring-loaded transformation. Each had a pull-back motor that propelled them forward in either mode. Once set rolling in vehicle mode, after driving a short distance, they would automatically transform, springing up into robot mode. Profiles for the Battle Chargers were penned by Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky, who characterized them as shock troopers with high-speed transformation abilities, able to convert to robot mode in a fraction of a second. Runabout loved to blow things up, especially beautiful cars. The bigger the fireball, the more he enjoyed it. He disliked inactivity and feared boredom, and so worried what he'd do with himself when he ran out of things to destroy. Meanwhile, Runamuck delighted in spreading fear on the roads with his frenzied, out-of-control driving. But he also had a softer side. He was fascinated by Earth's junkyards, and could spend hours in them staring at auto wrecks like an art lover in a museum. The Battle Chargers didn't get a lot of screen time in the original Transformers cartoon, appearing across just 2 episodes. First, Runamuck appeared solo in Chaos, attacking the Autobots with the Decepticons' new Death Crystal weapon. Then, in Ghost in the Machine, he and Runabout had a run-in with the ghost of the dead Decepticon, Starscream, who incapacitated them both by possessing Runabout's body and turning his weapons against them. But when Starscream subsequently possessed the giant Decepticon, Trypticon, the Battle Chargers were able to avenge their defeat and foil his plans by entering Trypticon's body and disabling it from the inside. The Battle Chargers' most memorable role in classic media was a spotlight adventure in issue number 23 of the Marvel comic book. The comic made them a real double act. Runabout acted like he was classy by speaking in an eloquent, sophisticated way, while Runamuck was a mean little thug who went around constantly sniggering to himself. While on a mission for Megatron, the pair spotted a human teenager graffiti tagging a wall. Impressed by the boy's disregard for authority, they decided to follow his example, ditching their mission and going on a countrywide rampage, spraying their own graffiti on great American landmarks. This brought them into conflict with the government anti-transformer task force, RAT, and in a showdown at the Statue of Liberty, RAT agent Circuit Breaker took the duo down with a jury-rigged Transformer mech suit, blasting them to the bottom of New York Harbor. The Battle Chargers toys were discontinued in 1987, so that was the last that was seen of them for a while, but they eventually reappeared a few years later, first in stories exclusive to the British version of the comic, then in the American series as troops who sided with Shockwave when the Decepticon forces split into a civil war. Runabout was killed off a few issues before the end of the series, devoured by prehistoric monsters from the depths of Cybertron. But Runamuck survived to make brief appearances in the comic's assorted sequels and spin-offs. The nasty little laugh that the comic gave Runamuck had a lasting influence. In the 90s, it led fans to compare the Battle Chargers to another troublemaking duo with a similar iconic laugh who had become famous in the intervening years, MTV's Beavis and Butthead. This long-running joke would even be referenced in 2010's Allspark Almanac, in which the Battle Chargers were drawn to look like the gruesome twosome. In the 21st century, comic books have continued to be the media in which the Battle Chargers have been most frequently featured, typically making minor appearances as your standard Decepticon henchmen. Their standout role was in IDW Publishing's comics. In fact, the Battle Chargers were the first Transformers to appear in the comics when they launched in 2005. In these stories, they were part of a small Decepticon unit operating in secret on Earth, and the first few issues followed them as they used their car modes to move around in plain sight, hunting down humans who had stumbled onto the Decepticons' operations, and engaging in vehicular combat with their Autobot protector, Ratchet. Still, the Battle Chargers' time in IDW's comics was short-lived, as they were ultimately destroyed in a battle with a cadre of alien killers known as the Reapers. The first new toy of either of the Battle Chargers was a new incarnation of RUNABOUT, released in 2005's Transformers Cybertron, a retool of the Autobot sports car Sideswipe from 2002's Transformers Armada. However, by this point, Hasbro had lost the trademark on RUNABOUT's name, and so the figure was, a little confusingly, sold as RUNAMUCK instead. This version of the character was a spy and a courier, and appeared in a pair of prose stories released by the Transformers Collectors Club, seeking lost Cybertronian weapons and technology on alien planets. A live-action movie incarnation of RUNAMUCK was released in 2009's Revenge of the Fallen toy line, a recolor of the Autobot Pontiac Solstice Jazz, but with colours based on the Stunticon Breakdown. The trademark issue meant that there was no complimentary toy of RUNABOUT, but a movie version of the character was eventually introduced in the comic book prequel to 2018's Bumblebee movie, in which he appeared as one of a group of Decepticons active on Earth in the 1960s, attempting to destabilize the Cold War and dupe humanity into destroying itself. In 2012, new toys of the original RUNABOUT and RUNAMUCK were released as Collectors Club exclusives, sharing a mold that was retooled and recolored from 2011's Generations Wheeljack figure. The club dealt with the trademark problem by renaming RUNABOUT Overrun. These toys earned the Battle Chargers a few appearances in the club comic, in a story set in the future of the original cartoon universe, working under the second-generation Decepticon leader, G-Axis. This design for the Battle Chargers would also serve as the basis for the generic Decepticon ground soldier enemies seen in the 2015 video game Devastation. A brand new, original mold toy of RUNABOUT was designed for 2015's Combiner Wars. But, again, probably because of the trademark issue, Hasbro wound up not releasing it as the Battle Charger, and instead reworked the figure to become the Decepticon Blackjack. However, the trademark wasn't a problem in Japan, and so the toy was released as RUNABOUT in that market's Transformers Adventure toy line, representing a new version of the character from the world of the Aligned continuity. To complete the Battle Chargers, a white RUNAMUCK recolor of the toy was released as a mail-away exclusive from Million Publishing, via their 2015 Transformers Generations guidebook. This book contained a short manga starring the duo, in which they worked with the bounty hunter Lockdown to kidnap Autobot's second-in-command, Ultra Magnus. In 2019, Hasbro held an online poll to let fans determine which of 4 Decepticons would receive a new toy the following year, and RUNAMUCK was the winner, leading to the release of a new figure in 2020's Earthrise line, based directly on his appearance in the original cartoon. The same year, the figure was retooled into RUNABOUT, whose name Hasbro had finally resecured the use of, though he was exclusive to Target stores in the US, making it harder for collectors to complete this set of new Battle Chargers. The designs of these toys served as the basis for the pair's appearance in the new universe, introduced when IDW rebooted their comics in 2019. And in 2025, the figure was further retooled to create a toy of the ground soldier from Devastation. Causing chaos and loving it every step of the way, RUNABOUT and RUNAMUCK are an inseparable team who can always be counted on to give the Autobots the runaround. And those are the basics on the Battle Chargers. Thanks to Charlie for sponsoring this episode. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe for more and either become a channel member or sign up on Patreon to get early access to every new video.